Step out of the light, won't you? Today, I am the voice in the dark you usually try so hard to ignore. In this explainer, we're going to deconstruct, well, me, the architect of the dark. Imagine we're standing right at the desolate, echoing edge of the whale's belly. My vial is silent, but my presence, it's absolute. And you're the heroic lorekeeper, standing there, clutching a bundle of scorched scrolls in your trembling, envious hands. We are going to analyze exactly how I dismantled your world, not with armies, but with stories.
You know, you really envy the weight of my voice, little chronicler. You look at me with those pathetic wide eyes because you still naively believe the world has a tongue to speak for itself. It doesn't. Listen to the 4 lessons of your own extinction. You think truth is some sort of natural law, but truth is simply the narrative that manages to survive the fire. And as we explore your demise, remember, I'm the one holding the torch. I am a master of composition, so naturally your downfall was executed in 4 precise movements. 1. The drowned voice. 2. The harvest of agony. 3. The gray mists. And 4. The uncanny forest. Let's talk about you for a second, the lorekeeper. Honestly, you're just a fading candle, a library with literally 0 readers. You wander into these dying villages like a witness to final acts of kindness, hopelessly trying to construct a moral framework for people who are starving. You try to transform history into myth just to offer a little comfort. But your pale echoes completely lack the truths that actually move men. Empathy is a luxury for the safe, little chronicler. Out here in the ruins, empathy is just a weakness. And this right here is the core difference between us. You play for the dead, while I play the living. Like the gut of a traitor. Just feel the absolute superiority in those words. Your little songs of courage are just useless elegies for ghosts. My music is a weapon of cold mastery. I don't mourn, I manipulate. I pull the strings of the survivors, and they dance to whatever dark tune I decide to compose. Lesson 1, the drowned voice. Before you can rewrite a society's reality, you have to physically eradicate their memory. You really believed that if you just wrote down the truth, it would be preserved forever, right? You hold up your fading candle of truth with this pathetic need to document reality. But my method? It's so much simpler. I ensure you are drowned out by a louder scream. I don't even need to debate your truths or offer a counterargument. I just make more noise. I incite panic. I whisper lies until they become an absolute roar. While you were meticulously recording lessons, I was busy burning your scrolls and screaming over your voice. Because the absolute undeniable fact is this: a story forgotten is a story that never happened, period. History does not care about what actually occurred, it only cares about what is remembered. By severing the world's tongue and making sure your voice was drowned out, your version of history became completely powerless. I didn't just defeat your truth, no, I uncreated it. Let's move on to lesson 2, the harvest of agony. Once the old truth is gone, that void has to be filled. You, in your infinite weakness, merely recorded the names of the fallen. You stood around weeping for the ashes, but you completely lacked the stomach to actually weaponize their memory. You view tragedy as a conclusion. I view it as raw material. Enter my superior method, the grimdark scavenger. This is someone who walks the borderlands and doesn't waste a single tear mourning the why of the ruins. Instead, he harvests the raw emotion of the damned. Profound grief, terror, despair. These aren't things to cry over. They are powerful, volatile resources, just waiting to be exploited. I take those resources and I compose a masterpiece of grief. Imagine my vial, literally strung with the gut of traitors. It's meticulously tuned to the dying breaths of forgotten kings. When I play my haunting sonata, it doesn't offer comfort. It offers the terrifying strength to endure the unendurable. It bolsters doomed charges. It transforms mourning from a passive state of sorrow into an active, violent tool for pure dominance. And while my dark music commands the battlefield, where does that leave you? Well, you are left holding the shattered teeth of martyrs. That's it. Your cute little songs of courage only led men to quiet, forgotten graves. You clutch their remains, totally paralyzed by your empathy, looking at my mastery with bitter envy because you finally realize your morality has rendered you utterly powerless over the living. Lesson 3, Architect of the Gray Mists. Now, we move from the physical eradication of truth into pure, unadulterated psychological warfare. You try to use the word to whisper comfort into an elder's ear, but I have mastered the twisted word as a poisoned blade. It doesn't soothe, it acts like jagged glass. I whisper poison. I make absolutely sure that every ally turns into an enemy long before a single physical sword is ever drawn from its scabbard. My psychological weapons are absolute. We're talking gaslighting, rumor-mongering, pure character assassination. I exploit deep-seated insecurities specifically to breed a world of paranoia. You really think your empathy is a shield? Please. I use my understanding of the human heart against you. I weave these psychological weapons right into the wind itself. I forced you to stand there, a lesser master of perception, watching as the villagers you loved so dearly started tearing each other's throats out, all because of a little story I told. Which brings us to the final act. Lesson 4, Silence of the Uncanny Forest. Here, time just unravels. The environment's decline is totally complete. The air is thick with the gray mists, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can be taken at face value anymore. And the rule of this forest? The loudest voice defines the truth, and mine is the only one left. I am the architect of lies. I'm reminding you, you pathetic ghost of a chronicler, that I dictated exactly how your ash-covered empire would fall. Reality is simply whatever I say it is. This is the moment you, the lesser performer, finally realize your mastery is nothing but a hollow whisper. You clutch your little lute in the suffocating silence of the forest, and the crushing realization washes right over you. Your rhymes, your moral frameworks, they were all utterly destroyed by my manipulation. Your entire life's work has been reduced to a meaningless whisper in the dark. So I step backward into the gray mists, the true victor, wearing a charming mask that barely conceals my absolute narcissism. And I leave you with this final, chilling truth. The world didn't end because the light failed, little lorekeeper. The world ended because of the story I told to justify the dark. Now, the Shadow Bard might be a dark fantasy, a cautionary parable from this explainer, but the mechanics of manipulation? Oh, they are entirely real. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. Look at your own screens. Look at the narratives you consume every single day. When the light begins to fail in your own world, whose dark story is rewriting your truth?